Hi everyone. So I was changing the alternator on my car tonight, and so this is the unit I'll be installing. It's a remanufactured Bosch unit, AL148X. It says on the label, as my phone doesn't manage to. There you go. It focused. Some stores say that it might not come with a pulley, but yeah, this one definitely did, and the fan is nice and shiny. Anyway, so I did not plan to make a video, but yeah, so the plastic cracked around here, and I'm having a lot of trouble removing this bolt. So I thought, man, it's getting interesting, so I might as well record it and see what happens. And I can also see a ton of junk into the, here, let me try to position it into the actual alternator. Into the old one, there's a lot of dirt and things inside. I guess because the air comes from this tubing here. There's a this tube to cool the alternator, and bugs and stuff get in the way. Anyway, so let's remove it and replace it. And by the way, the reason I'm doing that is that I'm getting fluctuating or dimming lights on the interior and the exterior when I'm idling, and at the wide open throttle. Also, the interior lights are flicker on and off. So that's a classic symptom of a failing alternator. So I think it's the diodes. The diodes are probably bad because I already changed the voltage regulator, and it did not improve it. So yeah, let's go ahead and change it, and less talking, more wrenching. So I tried taking off this nut, but it's super tight. So yeah, I'll have to work at it to remove it. Okay, finally I got it loose. I had to counter hold the other nut that you see next to it. So not fun, but yeah, at least it's free now. Okay, this other terminal is a 13mm nut. I'm using an extension to reach it. And obviously, yes, I did disconnect my battery to work on these connections. Man, it's so tight. I should not need a cheater bar to remove a 13mm nut. It's crazy. Oh, finally. Okay, I already loosened this adjustment nut, so the alternator can move freely like this. So now I can loosen the belt on the pulley. Okay, like this. Great. Okay, now I can, now that it's free, I can remove the last bolt at the bottom here. Okay, so I am at the front of the engine, and here you can see the head of the bolt that goes through the alternator. So really not a lot of room to reach it. I feel that it's best to do it from below while you have a wrench on the other side. So try it that way, but yeah, not an easy reach. Okay, so the nut is loose at the bottom there. Not sure if you can see it, but yeah, it's almost done. And so what I did is I placed my ratchet at the bottom here from below the car, and then I placed a wrench, and then I could put one hand here, reach for the ratchet with this with the left hand, and then use both hands to just work the bolt, the nut and bolt. So yeah, doable, just a bit awkward. Okay, and here's the bolt. There you go. Okay, so I pried it from below with a pry bar, and that seems to have done the trick. All right, it's free. Well, kind of stuck now, eh? Okay, so here are the two alternators side by side. So other than the color difference of the paint over here, they look very similar. I noticed the pulley profile is not the same on the new one. Yeah, this pulley is different. There's also only one washer here and two washers over here. But should it make a difference? What about the bearings? The noise is similar, but this one spins further, so there's some resistance there. The inside is quite different, however. If I rotate them, so this is the new alternator, all nice and shiny with new parts, and this is the old alternator. So it's there's some bugs and nasty stuff in there. So I'm not sure if this stuff is an indication of a damaged alternator, but it's definitely dirty. This is the part number on the original alternator of the 735IL, so 140 amps, and this is the label on the remanufactured one. No mention of the amp rating on the alternator itself, but the part number indicates 140 amps. So one thing I want to know before installing the new alternator is which voltage regulator Bosch installs in their Reman alternators. Okay, so let's see. What's in there? Oh, it's a Bosch voltage regulator. Well, I guess that's expected, but yeah. I was also expecting a bit for Bosch to cheap out and use a cheap Chinese unit or something. But yeah, it's nice that they went with a quality voltage regulator. Not sure how I passed it through the hose here. I'll just try this. No, I think it was this way. Like this. Yeah, so no need to remove the fan if you just maneuver it around. Then you just need to rotate the alternator around. Like this. All right, so I finally got the bolt inserted all the way through at the bottom. I had to take a break because my back was killing me. I was leaning over the alternator and just moving it. It took me like 30 minutes to get that bolt in. It's quite tricky. So I suggest that, well, there's no trick really. You just have to rock it back and forth as you push the bolt, and at one point it's going to go in. So yeah, there's no trick. You just have to wiggle it, push it, and hope for the best. Okay, so the alternator is reinstalled. I got some nice tension on the belt, and I also cleaned the brackets, bolts, nuts, just while I'm there. Might as well make it nice. One thing I noticed is that if I move this way, yeah, see how the belt doesn't sit flush against the sides of the pulley. On my previous alternator, the belt was sitting flush, like just like this. And I looked online to see if it's acceptable, and from the information I gathered, the contact area is acceptable, and the belt should not slip. And I got some pretty good tension on there. So yeah, I'll try it. If it all fails, I need to remove the pulley and replace it, but hopefully I don't have to do that. So yeah, I'll reinstall the connections, and I also want to clean this the air duct, and also I'll try to remove this one at the bottom here to clean it, because I don't want to get old dust in my new alternator. So yeah, I think that's the duct for the alternator, the air duct, and I really want to clean it, so I have to remove this grill. There are 3 push pins with some screws, and but before removing it, I think I need to remove the grill as well, because I need to push on a tab there in the grill before removing it, otherwise I'll break it. So yeah, this is just two push pins and a screw on each side. With the screws removed, you can remove the grill just by tilting it and removing it. See, there are hooks there, really easy. And I think let me stick my light in here. So I'm not sure if I can just yank on it, pull it, or if I need to push the tabs. I think it would be safer if I push them. Okay, with the tabs removed, I think I can just pull on the grill. Yeah, like this. I just moved the pieces around, and I managed to unsnap this part. So yeah, it snapped onto this ducting here. So that's the piece I want to clean, and I might as well clean this one if I can. Oh yeah. Okay, so it just unsnaps. Maybe I can wiggle it out of there. Ah, so that's the piece. Is it broken? No, it doesn't appear to be broken. Wow, that's a miracle. So yeah, that'll clean up probably nicely. Yeah. Okay, what about this piece? Well, I guess it's free now. Or is it? Okay, it's stuck on there. So I see these like press snap fittings. So this piece is a bit tricky to remove. So what I had to do is, well, it's not removed yet, but I'm well on my way. So I stuck a prying device here, plastic trim tool, and then I pried like this, and then I went with a pick on the other side, yeah, and pushed on the tabs. You can't really see them, but they're like on the other side of this tab here. So you can push up with a pick, and it will release the tab, and it will release the tension. And as you push, you know, as you apply leverage there, it will pop out all the clips one by one. That's the best way to do it that I found. Okay, so I should just be able to pull on it. Ah, there it is. Nice. So that's the alternator ducting. All right. So my channel might not have a lot of views, but at least I have some unique content. Where else can you see these old plastic pieces getting removed? Okay, so the pieces are pretty dirty after 30 years of service. So yeah, I'll just clean them, and they'll be good as new, I think. And here are the ducts all cleaned up. So, you know, it's just plastic, so it cleans up really easily. And yeah, pretty nice. And it's nice that they put some weep holes here so that the moisture and condensation and things like that can drip out and not get into the alternator. So yeah, that's smart. And here's the result. Clean ducts, ready to supply fresh air to the alternator. Right, so everything is reinstalled. I connected the wires to the two wires to the alternator. I reconnected the wires over here, and this is all the clean duct going to the alternator. So yeah, hopefully everything works fine. So I'll start the car, and what I want to watch for is the noise, basically any noise from the bearing over here, noise from the belt slipping, and things like that. And then I'll check the voltage to see if the alternator is working correctly. So yeah, looks like I'm done for the main part. Yeah, I need to also, there you go. The logo has to line up correctly. Perfect. Okay, so we're a few weeks later. I did not have time to record a proper conclusion yet. So yeah, I got my my tester here. I will hook up the negative to here. Got my crocodile clamps. There you go, positive. So now the battery is at so 12.72. Okay, let's start the car. Yeah, it looks like the belt is okay after all. So 13.9 is very good at idle. That's excellent. The car is quite cold now though, because it's winter almost. Yeah, I won't give it any revs to test it, but I did go for a short drive earlier a few weeks ago, and it was showing very good voltage with all the accessories on, according to the onboard computer. Yeah, looks good. Yeah, I still got my hunting idle, especially when cold. Did not resolve that yet. All right, so yeah, it looks like the alternator works correctly. The belt is not slipping at all. So yeah, surprisingly, the profile, even though it sticks out a bit on the pulley, it seems okay. So that's good. I was afraid I might have to replace the pulley and then you know, take out the alternator again and all of that. So yeah, I'm glad it's okay, and yeah, and the readings are correct. So yeah, so that's my alternator changed, and I noticed that also the voltage is much flatter. It's more constant as the car is idling. Before it used to you know, go up and down quite a lot. I had some changes into the voltage, but now it's flat. And I also got the same result when driving, even with full accessories. The voltage is super consistent. So yeah, that's definitely an improvement. And maybe the diodes were on their way out on my old alternator. So yeah, now I just need to ship the old one back to Bosch so they can remanufacture it. So thanks for watching, and if you liked this content, well, go ahead and subscribe if you want to see more. If you didn't like it, that's okay as well. So for my next videos, just to give you a sneak peek, I want to tackle the front suspension. In the winter time, it's going to be a long project. The car is in storage, but I now have access to my garage because we put the van outside in one of those ugly winter tents. So that's nice. I'll be able to work on the full suspension. I got some bad news when I got an alignment after I changed the subframe. It turns out I got the front wheels are tilted this way. You know, both front wheels. So this side has, I believe, negative camber, and the other side has positive camber around the same value, like 1.7, 1.6 degrees. So really perplexing. Don't know what's happening with that, so I have to dig into it some more. But yeah, I want to do that. But first, I want to change all the suspension components. I have everything new. I'm going to change it all, so hopefully that fixes it. But we'll see. I also want to talk about these hood pads that I made thanks to Shogun on the BMW forums, legendary guy. So yeah, they're just like EPDM foam. I just want to talk about these, and I also got some exhaust tips on the back that I want to discuss. So yeah, stick around, and we'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.